Well, hello, boys and girls. It's Miss Valashina's here, and today we are going to be doing a lesson on segmenting and blending, as well as chaining. So I have, if you look at the whiteboard, and you go get your whiteboards out so you can practice this with me and show mommies and daddies how we not only are able to write our words and our letter sounds to create words, but we also can read them. So we're gonna do it together, okay? Here's our house. We have our attic, we have the house, and then this is the basement. And only certain letters get to go into the basement. As we can see, let's do this together. Let's segment. And we can use our fingers, right? Or we can use our arm and segment and blend that way as well. So let's use our fingers to begin. Ready? The first sound is h. The next sound is ah. And the last sound is t. Let's put it all together. Let's go a little faster. Hot, hot. So that's what you should be now writing down on your whiteboard. You do that. I already did that for you. And once you do that, I'll give you a moment to do that. We're going to change the word because now we're going to go to the beginning of the word and we're going to take away the sound and we're going to replace it with the sound. Okay, so erase that. And now we're going to write what makes the sound? The letter P. So now we're going to, this letter goes down into the basement and half a circle to the right. Now, read to us, read to yourself, read to mommy and daddy or your brother or your sister. What word did we just make? Pot. Pot. All right. If we add the snake sound to the beginning of the word, let's try that. Remember, good readers and writers always go from the left to the right. So that's the beginning of the word. Now what did we make? Let's put it together. Spot. Spot. And again, you can segment. There's too many sounds here to do it on my arm because I can only do a CVC word using my arm. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Too many sounds here, so I have to use my fingers. Ready? Let's do it together. Spot. Spot. Okay, what happens if we take away the p sound and we replace it with the o sound? Let's try that. What word do we make now? Let's do it together. Ready? Slot. Slot. And if you have to go slower, that's okay. Slot. What happens if we take away the ah, that vowel sound, and replace it with the it? What happens to that word? We made the word slit. Slit. Okay, now I want you to take away the ending sound, the t. And now we're going to add, that's a digraph, right? This is another digraph. The digraph means when two letters come together to make one sound. And I want you to add this to the end of this word. Ng, ng. N and a G. What word did we make now? Let's do it together. Ready? Sling. Sling. Like if you hurt your arm, you put your arm in a sling. Okay, now let's add the snake sound to the end of this word. Now what word did we make? Slings. And remember that S at the end sometimes makes the snake sound and sometimes makes the Z, like the Z sound. Now I want you to take away the L sound. And this word now, I need to actually, I'm going to erase the beginning sound, that letter S, and I'm going to bring it closer because all of our letters have to be close together, right? They can't have spaces in between them. Words have spaces in between them when we are writing complete full sentences or phrases, but not our letters to create words. They have to be all together. Sings. Sings. Notice that the G, does the G go into the basement with that hook? It does. It stays in the house and goes into the basement. Notice that our letter I, that stays in the house, does not go into the basement, but it goes into the attic with that little dot, right? Not a big lollipop, just a little dot. And let's talk about how we're gripping our pencil, or if you're using your whiteboard and you're not doing it on paper and you're using a dry erase marker. Remember, talk to mommies and daddies about this. This is really important. You should still be really working and focusing on how you're gripping your writing utensil. Using either, sometimes we call it the alligator, and sometimes we call it the tripod grip, because I'm using 1, 2, 3 fingers, right? And it rests on that middle finger. Or the quadrupod grip, which is where I'm using 4 fingers, again, still holding on to the marker or pencil like that, but it rests on my ring finger. Okay, so either grip is okay. We're trying to avoid holding our writing utensil like this. Now I want you to get rid of the snake sound at the beginning of the word. And I want you to replace that with another digraph. Remember, 2 letters come together to make one sound. And sometimes it's a buzzy sound, and sometimes it's the breathy sound. Sometimes it's called voiced, sometimes it's called unvoiced. You tell me which one it is. Things. So I add TH. Remember, that's the only time that you can stick your tongue out at Miss Valashina's is when you're saying the TH sound together. And is that the breathy or is that the buzzy? Say it again. Things. I know you would tell me if we were all together that it is the breathy sound, the unvoiced, right? It doesn't make the like that or there. Get rid of the digraph and replace it now with wha. What makes wha? And you can even be talking to mommies and daddies while as you're drawing and writing these letters. You know, all the writing strokes. Diagonal down, diagonal up, diagonal down, diagonal up. Wings. Wings. Okay, good. Now erase your board completely. And now we're going to do one more set of chaining. Okay, so the first one that we're going to start with, the word is chop. Chop. You spell it as you write it. What makes that? That's a digraph, right? C, H goes into the attic, stays in the house with a little hump. O is circled to the left. And P, line down, goes into the basement, come back up, and circle to the, half a circle to the right. Also, practice as you're doing this, and when you're doing this without me and with me, because mommies and daddies can make up all sorts of words. You don't have to just use this video, but this is to show mommies and daddies how to do this at home. So, talk about keeping that writing utensil on the whiteboard or on the paper and not lifting it up. I know, I think I just lifted it up. So again, you go line down and come back up and circle to the right. That's a little sloppy. That's not quality work, Miss Valashina's. Okay, now I want you to get rid of the ah sound and replace it with the I sound again. Is that a vowel or a consonant? I just heard you say it is a vowel. Good job. Line down and a little dot in the attic. Let's read the word that we just wrote together. Ready? Chip, chip. Again, if you need to use your fingers, you can. Chip, chip. Add the snake sound to the end of that word. Half a circle to the left, half a circle to the right. S stays in the house. What is that now? Chips, chips, which means it's more than one. That's plural for chip. More than one, chips. Okay, let's get rid of the the digraph and replace it with a new digraph. Let's do shh. What two letters make that sound? S, half a circle to the left, half a circle to the right, and an H goes into the attic, stays in the house. Now let's read what word we just made. Ships, ships. Very good. Plural, right? If it was just one, it would be ship, but we're talking about more than one ship. Ships. Okay, now let's get rid of that digraph at the beginning of the word and replace it with qua, qua. And Q never goes anywhere without you. Think about all the words that we've learned that have Q in it. They also have you right together, as in queen, as in quiet, as in quilt, as in quick. Okay, so again, this is Q. Circle to the left, long line down, and we like to make a little tail at the end. So that letter goes into the basement. U, however, stays in the house. It's like a cup and a short line down. Quips, quips. Okay, now we're gonna get rid of the p, p, p sound, replace it with the t, t, t sound. What makes the t, t, t sound? The letter T. Get rid of that. And now, drawing the letter T goes into the attic, stays in the house, does not go into the basement. T. And a short horizontal line to the right. You see that? Long vertical line down, short horizontal line to the right. Let's read the word that we just made together. Quits. Quits. It's not good to quit something, right? We always try our hardest. Okay, now we are going to get rid of the qua, qua, qua. Q always goes with you. Q and you. And now I want you to actually erase, because the next word, I'm looking at it and it's just not making sense to me. So we're going to erase this, and we have a few more to do together. Okay, now I want you to practice writing this word on your own, and I'll give you a moment, and then I'll do it with you, after you. Hints. Okay, what makes the sound? H, long vertical line down and a hump. I. Short vertical line down and a hump. N, long vertical line down and a short horizontal line to the right. T. And what makes the snake sound? Yes, you're right, the letter S. Half a circle to the left, half a circle to the right. Let's read the word together. Okay, let's segment and then blend. When I go like this, I'm putting all the sounds together. I'm going a little faster, segmenting and breaking them apart. Ready? Hints. Okay, get rid of that I. And this is the vowel sound. This is the motion that we do at school for like you're raising the roof. Get rid of the I, and I want you to replace it with the letter You. Very good. And what word did we make now? Hunts. Hunts. Very good. Erase your board. All right, let's practice doing, well, let's talk about a tricky word. There is the word was. And when we sound it out the way we just did, it would make sense to spell it the way that I sound it out. Z. What makes that sound? Yes, the letter Z. But is that the way that we spell the word was? The reason being that we don't spell it this way is because it is a tricky word. Or you can also call it a high frequency word, or sometimes we call it a sight word. We call it all sorts of things. We see it a lot in our writing. When our brain sees this word, our brain just needs to stop and just know it. It's not able to be sounded out and to be written this way because this is not correct. So I'm going to erase and we're going to start over because the way that you do write this word, it does start with the letter W. Diagonal line down, short diagonal line up, diagonal line down, diagonal line up. Now, the next sound is not a U, but is actually the letter A. And show mommies and daddies, this is another motion that we do for the letter A when we make the sound. My mouth is open wide, almost like I'm crying, right? Half a circle to the left, short vertical line down. And the last sound letter in this word is actually not the letter Z, but it's the letter S. Half a circle to the left, half a circle to the right. And that spells the word was. Again, it's not decodable. So that's why the brain just has to know it. We have to kind of memorize it and memorize the rules that go along with it. So now I want you to erase that word. And let's practice maybe 2 times. And then Miss Valashina always does this at school too. I always say 2 more times, and then guess what? You get to draw something of your liking. You might be able to label it with words if you wanted to, but I give you a break and I give you a moment to do something of your own creation. So 2 more and then it's your turn. All right, the sentence that we are going to start with is Sam. The next word is going to be was, and then the last word is going to be hot. Now let's talk about this for a moment. Because we are writing a complete sentence, at the beginning of the sentence, you need to start with a capital letter. So now my letter S is going to go into the attic and stay in the house. Still will not go into the basement. Starting up here, half a circle to the left, half a circle to the right. The next sound is A. We just talked about that. What is that letter? A. Circle to the left, short vertical line down. And then the last sound is It was one of the first sounds that we learned at the start of kindergarten. Stays in the house, short vertical line down, a hump, and a hump. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to make sure we have a space in between our words, because this isn't just writing letters now. Now we're actually creating more than one word. So I like to use my finger. If you have a spacer or you have something else that you'd like to use, you can use that. And then I'm going to do was. How do you spell was? W-A-S. And this is a tricky word, was. Sam was. You're going to have to do it again, another space, before the word hot. What makes the ah sound? Oh. Oh. And the last sound, t, t, is the letter T. What goes at the end of our sentence? You cannot have a complete thought without what at the end of the sentence? Some form of punctuation. In this case, I'm going to put a period. Period. You see that? Very good. So let's read it together. Because the whole goal as readers and writers is to do it fluently. So it's not choppy and I don't sound like a robot as I'm reading and writing. Sam was hot. That's another strategy that you can teach mommies and daddies to use with you is tracking. So it's one-to-one correspondence. You should be underneath each word as you read the word, pointing, using that pointer finger. Sam was hot. Okay, very good. Erase your board. We're doing one more, and then you get to do something of your liking. And then we might say goodbye for a little while. Okay, the next sentence is, the dog was hot. So let's talk about that. Sam was hot. That was 3 words. Now I'm making you write a sentence that has how many words? The dog was hot. 4. Okay, starting over here. I'm going to erase my house and I'm going to move it a little bit to the left so that I don't run out of room. Because again, good readers need to go from from left to right, from top to bottom. Oh, my. All right, so we start with the. Again, it's a complete sentence. So this first letter needs to be an uppercase or capital letter T. The. We know this also, H-E. Spells the. That's another tricky word, the. Because E, I've taught you as a decodable sound and letter, it would say eh, eh. Does this say the? No, it says the. Okay, the dog, space, don't forget your space. Circle to the left, long vertical line down. O, G. The dog goes down into the basement with a hook. Tricky word again. Was. You spell it out loud. W. Oh, it's making squeaky noises. A. S. The dog was. Last word. Hot. Hot. H-O-T. What goes at the end? What goes at the end of the word? A period. Very good. What if I was asking a question, though? What would I put at the end of the sentence? Yes, a question mark. What does a question mark look like? It looks like this. Half a circle, line down, and a little dot. But that's not a question, right? I'm asking something when I ask a question. I'm asking for a response. This is a statement. So that's why I use a period at the end of the sentence. All right, Ms. Felicinas is going to give you a moment to draw something of your liking. And you know that I love to get mail from you through pictures and videos. Mommies and daddies have been doing a really great job doing that. So if you'd like, at the end, take a picture. Take a picture, even if it's of your drawing. I miss all of you terribly. I need you to like and subscribe so that you get notifications. Remember to hit the bell so that you know when I've uploaded new content to our YouTube channel. I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I will be back.